Yo, everyone, what's up? The light is blinding and stuff. Yeah, that's what happens when I do things in the day. Right, so, hello YouTube, how's it going? Alex here. Today we're going to be doing the part 2 of this, what do you call it? Dissection of DHH's views. I think this part 2 is not as fiery as the first one, mainly because I think Lex actually drove really good points that I actually really agreed with. Sometimes I don't really agree with Lex Fridman in quite a few things, but when it comes to just the iterative steps of stuff, especially in development, here's where I actually shook my head and said, like, yeah, iteratively, this is actually could work. Although I feel like he needs to know that there's a lot more than just actually goes into it, because this whole thing of vibe coding, it's in the past. And that's what we're going to really be looking into and unpacking today. Yeah, not in the best of spirits. I'll pretty much let you know by the 4th video. We're not going to be reviewing this in the 4th video, don't worry about that. But I get to talk about my business. Well, what I do. So I'm just going to leave you with that and this. And yeah, let's just get the show on the road, shall we? See ya.
Welcome to the Dev Roast with your host Alex W. Starring DHH, creator of Ruby on Rails.
You're not going to learn anything. You're going to learn in this superficial way that feels like learning, but is completely empty.
Gemini taught me consistent hashing and hash rings, yeah. And I'm probably going to do a tutorial on consistent hashing and hash rings maybe in the future if I get time to. But at the end of the day, I still felt like I learned. I still drew it out, yeah. I still rewrote the code in my own interpretation. You know, again, how do you learn, mate? Do you learn from magically thinking up the idea? That's how you figured out your algorithms? Fuck no, man. You literally had to go to your you had to go to Google, you had to go search graph algorithms. Yeah? You implemented you implement a programming language, you know this. You know that you had to go learn little other things. You had to go learn abstract syntax trees. You had to go learn this, you had to go learn that. Well, heads up, Bob. Many people are going to be inspired from vibe coding, inspired enough to break off things and go and learn new things from what they've built. That's what we call inspiration from building a product. Yeah? Many people vibe coded stuff that will probably become $1 million products in the future. So I kind of don't agree with this thought, because again, they'll just break it down and then say, I want to focus on this problem area. I want to learn more about this. He's forgetting about the inspirational aspect of what this technology has just given us.
Calories. And secondly, if you can just vibe code it, you're not a programmer. Then anyone could do it,
Right, this is the one that really pissed me off. So the reason why I say this is because let's go back, because he's a programmer. He knows about programming languages, innit? Yeah, let's go back. Let's go all the way back to assembly language. The closest thing we have to ones and zeros possible. That was one of the lowest levels of abstraction we had. Yeah, you only had a few registers, a program counter, and just kept on going down the program counter. You kept on branching off to different parts. You only had very few things. It was low level at itself. Memory management. Let's move on. We got good programming languages, C, C++, but still very native. You still had to manage your memory with your alloc, mallocs, and frees, you know? What happened next? Higher level of abstraction. We got garbage collection. What happened at that point, by the way? When we got garbage collection, we got Java. And what happened in Java? Back in the day, let's think. What software came out in Java that was actually really sick? I'll give you one. LimeWire. Yeah, LimeWire was great. I don't know if any of you guys use LimeWire. I don't know if you guys ever played around with it. This was pre-Spotify, when everyone was downloading. This is pre-BitTorrent, when everyone was downloading away their MP fucking 3s. Yeah, I remember them days. Do you know how complex LimeWire is as a software application? This thing has threads. This thing has networking. This thing has a P2P protocol. It's very complex. Now, let me ask you, in terms of man hours, how long it would have actually taken for you to write LimeWire in C? I'll wait. Yeah, exactly. Fucking long ass time. This is a textbook mark of history. You make do with the technology you have. Yeah? Let's jump forward a little bit past Java. We got a lot of interpreted languages. We got a lot of languages like PHP. We got JavaScript. We got a shit ton of... We got his language right here. His. Yeah? So at the end of the day, what happened? Higher level abstraction. What was created because of it? Facebook? Yeah, Facebook. Look how big that application was. And till today, it's still being modified. Of course, they use Hack for some parts. Yeah, but at the end of the day, higher level of abstraction leads to more usability, leads to more complex software. Let's break it down a little bit even further there, innit? What happens when we have another higher level of abstraction past just that? We have AI. I'll let you guys be the judge, because at the end of the day, I've seen quite a few individuals implement full-on systems. When I mean full-on systems, I don't mean just one flipping web app. I mean web apps that communicate with each other through different series of communication protocols, gRPC, PubSub. Like, mate, what I mean is he's kind of forgetting that idea of abstraction. As a programmer, he should be ashamed. He should be fucking ashamed. Because at the end of the day, that's how AI is. The natural language has become a new programming language, people. And if he can't see that, he's actually blind. We don't have to think in for loops and iterations anymore. We have to think in specs and features. Yeah? We have to actually think about things more in terms of the domain. Now, for all those bastards who read like Eric Evans' book, Domain Driven Design, you guys are going to be the ones driving a lot of the beautiful ideas in terms of managing actual complexity in software. All those people who read microservices books and architecture books, you guys are going to be amazing developers on your own. Why? Because AI has actually allowed you to now think in that level of abstraction. Let's continue to hear his slander. I'm actually finding this quite hilarious, just reviewing this guy's crap.
It'd be wonderful. That's essentially what happened with the Access database. That's what happened with Excel. It took the capacity of accountants to become software developers because the tools became so accessible to them that they could build a model for how the business was going to do next week. That required a programmer prior to Excel. Now it didn't because they could do it themselves. Vibe coding enables non-programmers to explore their ideas in a way that I find absolutely wonderful. But it doesn't make you a programmer.
I agree.
I disagree with him immediately. You guys, vibe coders, you're programmers now. And I'm going to be honest with you. You're programmers who are in charge of programmers. You're actually a programmer of programmers. That's what you are doing. You are orchestrating you're orchestrating the dance of computation. That's what you're doing. So you're still a programmer. I think what he said was actual bullshit. And I call bullshit on that 100 times. Yeah? Yes, I honestly believe as somebody who is vibe coding, who doesn't understand the programming language, you should actually probably take some time out. You should sit down, grab yourself a programming book of whatever you're vibe coding, and actually sit down, turn off the Claude, turn off whatever, get rid of cursor for a bit, don't uninstall it, just move it to the side, open VS Code, no AI, and just go through the stuff, go through the examples. I have some really good book recommendations, by the way. Books that are not meant to scare you, books that are actually supposed to teach you the fundamental language domain. So when you look at the code that the AI is actually giving you, you can be like, because again, I think what's going to happen is you're going to be code reviewers. It's basically just exactly the same thing that's happening in the assembly line, if you think about it. In the assembly line, what people used to be actually working on fucking cars. Now what do? They review the robots working on the cars. same story. You review, you enter a spec and you review the code. You test the code. You make sure the code works. And I'm pretty sure AI is going to get to a point where even testing the code is going to be easy. Let's continue. I'm actually enjoying this chat now.
With you, but I want to allow for room for both of us to be wrong. For example, there could be vibe coding could actually be a skill that if you train it, and by vibe coding, let's include the step of correction, the iterative correction.
Yes.
It's possible if you get really good at that you're outperforming the people that write from scratch.
Now, Lex Fridman drives a very good point, and I want to further expound that to Lex. Lex, this is called context engineering. Very, very different from vibe coding. Context engineering is like basically where you use the context very efficiently. The context within the LLM is actually, again, it's bound. It's not like it's unbounded. It's bounded. But if you can fit enough information into the LLM's context for it to do some work, you can actually get away with actually quite a lot of beautiful things. But you need tools. You need to actually you need to firstly orchestrate the LLM to actually think in this way. You need to kind of be methodical about it. I currently know how to do it with Claude Code. It's actually quite nice, quite fun. The way I ending up doing it is giving it something like a PRP, product requirement prompt, very similar to a PRD, product requirement description. And you can even move it up another level higher. Back where we had high-level design documents, you can have a high-level design prompt that creates multiple product requirement prompts. And those product requirement prompts can be worked on by the LLMs. And again, LLMs can have, like Claude has a Claude MD, which basically tells Claude, hey, these are the guidelines of this project. Yeah, I want you to follow this project with these guidelines. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, it'll follow the project with the guidelines. That comes in with tests, code-based patterns. So you could actually make the LLM write quite clean code just by making sure that you conserve the context and you kind of make everything like very, what's this word? Is it coherent? Don't want to use a coherent, concise. Maybe coherent. Making it very like specific to the problem at hand. It's back to what you do as a software engineer. How well can you break a problem down? Because again, if you can break a problem down very well, granularity is very key. You can actually get these LLMs to be developers, not bloody vibe code. Hey, I just want this feature. Give me everything. No, this type of iteration is it's old. It's extremely old. It's not the way you want to work. And even it doesn't fit the software development model, really. You need a way of working that fits the software development model, that creates what do we call it? A vertical slice? Yeah, a vertical slice. I was about to say horizontal slice. No, a vertical slice of functionality that you can test effectively. In a world of financial uncertainties where the market is a storm, we need to find a new way to get through the storm. A new algorithmic trading solution that bridges the gaps between quant developer and retail trader. Theo. Master the financial storm with Theo.